Hi, I'm Mina Roby. I'm a health and wellness coach. I wanted to take a couple minutes today and just talking about the importance of our overall health and wellness, our physical well-being. Some time ago, it's actually several months ago, my husband suffered a severe injury. He is incredibly healthy. He's always lifted weights. In the last few years, he's gotten more active in stretching and making sure his joints are limber. At the time of the injury, he was 57 years old, and because of the state of his health and wellness, the overall picture of that emotionally and physically, he came through the recovery at a very, very good pace. He was far advanced through the recovery and the physical therapy. His doctors were very happy with him. It was still a major injury, and he has a lot to share about that, just to let people know what to expect. He stepped off of a retaining wall, just lost his footing. It was not very tall, and he completely ruptured the Achilles tendon in his right leg. So the recovery time was significant. And because he had maintained his health and his physical stamina and his flexibility, his strength throughout his lifetime, he did very well in the recovery and in the rehab part. But he wants to share that with some people who have suffered the same injury, just to let them know what they can look for. And I wanted you to know too, I wanted everyone to know how important it is for us to create an environment of healing in our bodies. And how we do that is what we put into our bodies and the activity that we have out. And it encompasses complete wellness, and that's spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. So just keep in mind when you're living joyfully that's your goal. We want to be healthy and enjoy living right now, and also avoid injuries if possible. Because your strength and your vitality can help that. But also, if you are injured or you have an illness or a sickness, just to know that how you've been preparing and taking care of your body will bring you through that. So I hope you get something of value. I'm sure you will, out of what Mike is going to share with you today. Thank you.
I want to share with you my injury, my surgery, and recovery process for a ruptured Achilles tendon. In October of 2021, like my wife said, I fell off of a retaining wall 3 feet, and it was a week before we were going to go to Yosemite, and I was going to climb El Capitan, so I have to put that off for a year. The immediate injury was, if you experienced it, your foot is floppy like a fish, and you know there's something wrong because there's no control of your foot, and it's an awful, horrible feeling. I went to my friend, Dr. David Johnson, his lovely wife, Stephanie, and he examined it and diagnosed. He said, it's completely torn. I can do surgery tomorrow. So the surgery was the next day. I recommend that you do not watch the video of the surgery of a ruptured Achilles tendon because it is horrible. And Dr. Johnson said it's like sewing 2 bloody mops together. All of these tendons here and all these here. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of sutures to get them all back together. And then they pull them together, and then they cut a flap and put it over. Once he started talking about flaps, I'm like, I don't want to hear anymore. But I do want to encourage you that the surgery went smooth. We did it at the surgery center. Absolutely zero pain. They put me in a warm blanket, and I woke up saying, when are we going to do the surgery? And it was over with. And there was zero pain. The first 2 weeks, I was in a soft cast, a splint, to allow the foot. There's lots of swelling then. Zero weight bearing, so you literally cannot touch your foot to the ground. Put a Glad bag over my leg and taped it with Gorilla Tape to take my shower. I sat in a chair in the shower, and I pretty much think that's the best way to take a shower now. You just sit there and turn the water off, lather up, shave, do all your stuff, and then turn it back on. Then from that, I was hard cast, I believe, for 5 weeks. The hard cast, by the very end of the hard cast, it stinks. It smells like a rotting corpse, and it itches so badly, and I almost cut it off myself the last couple of 3 nights. But finally, when the cast was taken off and I got the boot, it felt so good because you can take your foot out of the boot and just stretch your toes a little bit. And I want to warn you, when you have your boot, to be extremely careful, because I had a setback with my boot. I took it off, and I was walking to the shower, and I turned, and my Achilles tendon popped like it did the first time. I thought I totally ruptured. I had to go back to the doctor. Dr. Johnson said, "Don't screw it up. This is one of my best jobs." And my foot turned purple, but he said it wasn't a complete tear. Something did disconnect. There was a strange feeling in my foot, on the bottom of my foot, and even to this day, it feels like I'm walking on a rope or a piece of wadded up material under the bottom of my foot. I don't know what that is, but it's almost gone now. But that happened then. So I believe something popped loose, but not the entire Achilles tendon. Then I believe in about month 3 is when I started physical therapy, and that was a game changer. I went from not even being able to lift my foot, from not even to be able to lift my foot like that with just the weight of my leg. Literally zero strength. And like I said, I was training to climb El Capitan in Yosemite to where I could not lift my weight of my leg. And physical therapy was about 10 weeks, and it is an absolute have to do, and it was wonderful. Lots of exercises of moving and rotating your foot, lots of rubber bands, the big stretchy bands. Great people there at the physical therapy facility, and coaching me on what I can do without harming myself. About, I would say 3 months into it, maybe 4, they encouraged me to start doing more and more leg lifts and that sort of thing in the swimming pool. So I got in the swimming pool at chest deep, and that's only 80% of your, it's only 20% of your body weight. So I was doing leg lifts. I did 100 leg lifts every day in the pool, and then I walked the entire pool from deep end to shallow end on my tiptoes. And as I got to the shallow end, my foot would flatten out again until I and then I would go back to the deep water and continue that until each week I could get in shallower and shallower water till eventually, probably in 5 months, I was able to walk outside of the pool on my tiptoes and able to walk upstairs. Before, I had to walk upstairs with a peg leg like that. Until now, at month 5, I was able to walk up like this. And that feels so good, stretching out this muscle here. That tendon is so tight. Everyone asks if it hurts, and it really doesn't hurt. It never has really hurt. It's just an incredibly strange feeling of, it feels like a really, really, really tight rubber band. Just Dr. Johnson said they pull it together really tight, and they put you on an incline like that. And he said to wear cowboy boots the first month or so because it's at the right incline. Another thing I did was I cut out pieces of foam from a yoga mat and put it in my shoe because my heel was very sore, and that helped considerably. After 4 or 5 months, Dr. Johnson said I wouldn't injure it to do anything that I can do. Anything that I can do, I think I can do, go ahead and try it, but don't do anything abruptly until literally this week is the first time I sprinted. My wife and I have been walking. We go to the gym regularly, but this is the first week that I sprinted. And yesterday I did. I've been craving sprinting, and I did. I did 2 laps at the gym at full speed, and I'm about, I would say, 60% strength in that foot. I'm 100% healed, but about 60% strength, and I've been told it takes up to a year to get full strength. So we're planning on going to Yosemite this year, probably in the fall. So literally, I know a lot of people that have done a lot worse to themselves, but this is the only time I've ever been disabled that long. Not able to drive for a month, completely dependent on my wife. If you're doing this by yourself, I don't know how you're going to do it because it's extremely difficult, and I sympathize with you. Feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, Michael Lance Roby, and I would love to answer any questions that you have. I wish there was somebody I could have asked a lot of questions to because I was always worried that I wasn't healing fast enough. And like Mina said, every time I went to my physical therapist, they said I was at the top of the list in advance of everyone. So everything they said I could do, I did, and I did even more than that. So I just encourage you to stay healthy. And if this happens to you, give me a call.
I was thinking about, too, when those first 6 or 8 weeks when you were in both those casts, you were completely non-weight bearing. Mm-hmm. And do you want to talk about that for a second? Like if you weren't moving, you were on your back,
yes,
your leg elevated.
Yeah.
And also the appliances that you used to help, your scooter.
Scooter was fantastic. You have to get a scooter, one of the ones you just rest your leg on, your knee, and then you can roll around. You have to have that. I don't know how I would have gotten it just on crutches, because your good leg will be so worn out. My left butt cheek was like quivering in pain from going up and down stairs constantly on that. So returning the strength to the right leg, to the left leg, I know will take at least a year.
I was thinking too, I remember right after you got into the boot, after they took you out of the hard cast, that you were concerned really that you would ever be able to count on that foot again.
Yes.
Do you feel like that the physical therapy helped you with that?
Yeah, physical therapy, yeah, extremely.
Gave you confidence in yourself again, in your leg?
Yes, when I first took the boot off at physical therapy, they stand you next to the table, and it is so weak. They said, lean forward. I literally went like that. I mean, I couldn't control my own body from falling, to where now I can lean forward and back. The next thing that I'm working on now is, my goal is to have my foot, the full length of my foot away from the wall, and to be able to touch the wall like most normal people can do. When I first started, I could only do it an inch, and it was just incredibly tight. I could barely touch it like that. Now I'm about maybe a half of the length of my foot away.
Yeah.
You know.
So how would you encourage people with the PT just to keep powering through?
Keep it up, and whatever they tell you to do. You know, mine was for 10 weeks, and what did 10 weeks?
It was
10 sessions.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks.
10 sessions, 3 weeks. Whatever they tell you to do. There was an anti-gravity treadmill that was wonderful. It lifts you up to where it's 25% of your weight, and you can walk for the first time. And I'll put some pictures and video when I get through. I'll put some pictures and video of the process. So you're welcome to look at that. And I mean it. Feel free to call me. My cell number is 731-234-5642.
Do you think your already physical strength was a factor in your PT too?
Yes. My wife and I didn't quit working out either. I actually got stronger because I went to the gym regularly to keep everything else in shape. So whenever I climb, my core is in better shape. I increased the amount of chin-ups that I can do. I did everything I could do other than with that leg.